Sure. So it started off really when, I mean, I've always known that I was adopted, and my parents made a big special effort to make sure that we, as kids, my sister and I, were both always aware of it. So they used to have little role plays and little fake conversations in front of us about us being adopted when we were really, really young. And so we've always known, we've never had that moment where you find out and it's suddenly, a big wrench. And neither of us were ever really that worried about finding our biological parents, particularly my sister. But then my friends started having children, and I started seeing the similarities between the parents and the kids, and he's got his mum's eyes and his dad's sense of humour and all that sort of stuff. And I started thinking, well, gosh, it would be interesting. It'd be interesting to see somebody that looks like me, because that's never happened before. So I decided to start looking, and I put my name on the register. And if you put your name on and one of your parents puts their name on too, then they'll link you up. But then they came back and said, no, there's no one put their name on. But how would they know what my name is and things like that? So that was a bit unlikely. And so I started doing a bit of research, and all I had was my mum's name, which was Janet Edwards. And I didn't expect ever to find my dad, because I didn't have a name for him at all on the birth certificate. And unfortunately there are a lot of Janet Edwards up north, so never got anywhere with that. And my partner David decided to help, because he's also adopted and he's been on this journey himself. And he's been fantastic, actually. He's really, really been a good person to talk to about it all. And so yeah, we started doing some research and some Facebooking, and didn't get anywhere, didn't find anyone that looked like me. And then he got me a MyHeritage DNA test, and it came up with a 25% match on a lady called Jane Hattersley, who's turned out to be my Auntie Jane, my biological dad's sister. And she didn't answer some messages that I sent her, but I think that's just because she didn't know that they had arrived through the MyHeritage app. And then through a family tree match, I put her parents and my mum's name into a family tree, and suddenly it said, we've matched you up with another family tree with the same people in the same places in it. And that turned out to be my cousin Nicola. And then I got in touch with her. We chatted for a few days, and then when she realised that I was for real, she sent me a message saying, yeah, right, I know who your dad is. He's my Uncle Eric. Because her mum had told her when she was young that her Uncle Eric had had a son when he was a teenager, and that the son had been adopted. So yeah, and it's all happened from there. And he lives in Spain, so he's come over to Yorkshire now to meet.
The next step of the journey obviously is that you're now going to be meeting him today,
in about an hour and a half. Yeah, so it's a really weird feeling. We've spoken on we've had video chats and stuff because he lives in Spain, but it's quite a strange feeling. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm sort of a little bit nervous, and I hope it's not going to be really awkward, and that we're going to have enough to say to each other. And I can't imagine how it's going to feel. I can't, and I've thought about it a lot. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. And tomorrow then we're going to meet all the rest of the relatives, and there are lots of them. He has 10 brothers and sisters, and loads of cousins I've got now, and they're all sending messages on Facebook and saying good luck. And it's quite weird, feeling that he's actually my biological dad, but we've never met before, so I don't know what it's going to feel like. Just have to play it by ear.
How do you feel right now about it?
Right now, quite I guess quite sort of nothing really at the moment. I think it's because it's too overwhelming. There are too many emotions crashing around, so you don't actually feel any of them. MyHeritage are a company that do these DNA tests, and they're based in Israel, and I think they were set up to help Jewish people find their families, and they're very, very pro linking up people who have lost their families. And when I got in touch to ask, if there was a way that they could tell if Jane had read my messages. I said, I don't want you to give me any contact details, I don't want to break confidentiality, but I would like to know, has she read them and decided not to get in touch with me, or has she just not read them at all? Because I was kind of left hanging with this, you know, enticing DNA match, and then it just all stopped. So I sent this message to their support team, and about a week later, one of their researchers called Nite called me, and he said, we'd like to help you on your journey, you know, thanks for your email, we'd like to help you on your journey, and is there anything we can do? So they gave me for free a year's full membership, which allowed me access to all the genealogy records and family trees and births, marriages and deaths, and they have a thing called automatic or smart matching. And Jane had put her father and her mother in a family tree, but she'd done it slightly wrong. So she'd put her father, but then she'd put his wife as her grandmother. So the two people were in the wrong place. It would look like, you know. And then I noticed that the dates of birth were about the same. So they must have been husband and wife, not mother and son. So I put them in the correct places in my family tree, and suddenly all the DNA, all the family tree matches started coming in. So yeah, it's a clever system. It's been amazing how it's happened.
We're about to leave shortly
Yeah.
to go and see your dad. What do you think might be going through his mind?
Gosh, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting one. I half expected for him to have had a whole other family and to have half brothers and sisters and things like that. It was a bit of a shock, to be honest, when I found out that he hasn't had any other children. And I think he would have really liked to, but it just hasn't worked out that way in his life. So yeah, it turns out I'm his only child, and I think because of that, this is particularly poignant for him. I know that he's a lovely, lovely bloke. He's so genuine and so open, and all of my relatives that I've found through this process, we're all friends on Facebook now. So it's there's a heck of a lot of them. The Sutcliffes, they're a big clan, and all of them just adore Eric and have said what a great guy he is, and how excited they are that we found each other after all this time. So yeah, it's a big day for all of us. Lovely sunny Yorkshire day.
Yep, beautiful sunny weather. Here we are on our way to meet Simon's biological father.
Gosh.
Yep. If we make it in one piece. So we're 2 minutes away.
Yep.
How are you feeling?
Really nervous, actually. Really nervous.
Yeah.
Not sure it'll all be great, but yeah, it's not something that happens every day, is it?
No, it really isn't. You know. But it'll all be good, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it will too. It's so weird that they've been here all this time, just like 16 miles away from where I grew up.
Yeah. It's really bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah. We're here.
Your destination is on the left.
Well. Okay, here we go. Back that way.
Yeah.
Reckon we're alright parked here across their drive?
I don't think we're across the drive. We're not on the dippy bit.
You don't realise who I am, do you? I'm your aunt.
Hello.
Oh gosh.
Hello. How are you doing?
Oh,
Wow.
it's so lovely to see you.
Oh wow.
When you pulled up a hat, I know those faces.
Well, I noticed you knew his name. Hello, I'm David. Sorry.
I know, but you too. They'll be well jealous that I've met you first. Yeah, Brenda lives in the corner there.
Oh, fantastic.
You see where the van's parked on the
Yeah,
drive.
yeah.
And Auntie Jane lives at
Gosh.
the house at that end with the...
Wow.
So you're all very close to each other, aren't
yeah,
you?
we are, very, yeah.
We were just saying on the way, it's so weird that you've all been here the whole time.
So you were
16 miles away.
spotted.
Yeah. Just literally. It's weird.
Oh, it's so lovely.
So, are we going to see you tomorrow?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. I hope you're not filming me.
I am. I'm sorry about this.
I got caught in a rain.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I'll
dear.
take my shopping and...
Will we see you tomorrow then?
Yes, you will, yeah.
How mad is that? Parking
I
outside my
noticed you
auntie's
knew
house
your
by
name.
mistake.
Didn't you notice she called you Simon?
No.
So you can park here, Simon. I thought, oh gosh, okay, she's a relative. Oh gosh. Now, 30.
49.
Gosh. What to do for equipment?
Hello.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Wow. Could have brought some with us, couldn't I?
I know. I know.
Hello, Eric. Sorry to be filming. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, mate.
Oh.
Gosh.
This is Brenda's house, so
Yeah.
they're very, very kindly gone out and left us to it.
have they?
Yeah.
Oh, bless them.
Oh.
It's full of soap.
Oh, thank you. Lovely,
Yeah.
thank you. Sorry to have all this equipment with me.
Oh, it makes you want to cry just looking at it. It's just like
Was it an
your dad from
absolute
years
horrendous journey then yesterday?
Wasn't it?
Was it? Was it after
Pretty
you did?
terrible, yeah.
Oh,
thank
dear.
you.
Rain.
This is Phoebe.
Hello.
Yes, you are, Kevin dog.
Yeah,
She's
absolutely.
an old girl. She'll just say hello and then flop herself back down again.
Hello, Steve. Lovely to
Oh,
meet
it's
you.
lovely. Lovely to see you.
Oh gosh,
I'm trying
she's a
not to
big girl.
cry. It's hard.
I'm sorry to be filming, it seems so rude.
Oh, John.
But, you know, I think
You
it's
do
quite...
whatever you feel like.
It's really
You
important
do
to
whatever you
capture that.
feel like.
Yeah.
Sit down, what we all
Yes,
do.
yes,
It's
yes.
so alive.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I know.
You
Have you seen all the
Yeah.
comments on the Facebook? Yeah. Yeah, I know.
in the flesh, you look more alike than in pictures.
Oh,
Do
well,
we?
wait,
Yeah.
wait till
Yeah.
I've brought a few, just a little few photos
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
of
When he was
we were
younger.
young.
Where did you park? Over there?
Yeah, actually,
In fact, I'll
we
go
parked
there.
up and this lady came up and she went, all right, Simon, I don't mind if you park outside my house.
Who's that?
Auntie,
One of the aunties. I'm not
Jane.
sure.
No, it won't be Jane. She's not here.
The youngest
you're
brother's
furious that I
partner.
met you first.
There's hundreds of them. Hundreds of them. Brothers and sisters.
Oh,
Quite a lot, isn't it?
Crisis, isn't it?
He's got five sisters and four brothers
She
left.
said,
Yeah.
oh
Lost
yeah,
two
and
sisters
your other auntie lives down
in the
there.
last few
And
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
But,
There's three of them on the street. Yeah, there's Brenda here, Bob,
the
Jane at the other
twins
end,
of them.
and then Jeff and Maria.
So we have visitors
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah, so that must be nice.
It's
And
quite
you're
nice
quite
down
low,
there,
isn't
yeah.
it, as well? So you
It's,
can, yeah.
Love it.
They
When
can
I
all
was-
Road in, road
near
out,
the
so you know,
airport,
so
so you
traffic,
can come straight in.
That's
Well,
great.
when I was younger,
Can I get you a drink of anything?
Ah, a glass of water actually.
Yeah.
when I was
She's saying-
Would you like a drink of anything,
I
Dale?
would love a cup of tea.
Cup of tea?
Yes, that would be very
Milk
nice.
and sugar?
Yeah, white with one sugar, please. How you feeling?
Yeah, cheers, Dad.
I can't go the hell right to you.
It is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is crazy. Gosh. Oh, thanks. Handsome
Then-
fella.
six
Well
this
said.
time. Married for 3, because we weren't married before, but we're married this. I've never been married, but Eric has.
Oh, brilliant.
I just wanted you to see the body beautifully, and he said you've got the same body, so there
There
you
you
go.
have exactly the same body.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to say,
Mine's not quite as good as that
I
one.
used to say to everybody, "Oh, small but perfectly formed," and he used to be embarrassed.
It's full fat or skimmed.
Skimmed, please, be lovely. Thank you.
Oh yeah, well,
Wow.
I kid myself. I
Oh,
just.
look at these.
Do you
Aren't they
realise,
brilliant?
maybe, we were sitting here, kid?
Raining again.
Unbelievable similarities.
Really, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no doubt who's you are.
No.
Who you belong to, is there?
That's what we were really laughing this morning about on Nicola's. And yesterday on the way up in the car, David was reading out all the posts on Nicola's little post. And I forget who it was, someone said, "Oh, is that Eric's son?" And then the very next one just went, "Oh, yeah, don't worry, I've seen his profile picture, it obviously is." We're in the area. I knew her full name, Janet Irene Edwards.
Yeah,
So, and I knew roughly how old she was.
yeah.
And I thought, well, that's what's going to happen then. I'm going to find Janet first.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it never even occurred to me that we'd find each other.
No.
It really didn't.
So you've never had any luck finding anything out then?
About Janet?
Yeah.
No. Turns out there's shed loads of Janet Edwards up north.
God. Because that were another thing our Nicola had said to me when we were passing these messages on,
Yeah.
and she said, "Can you remember the name of the girl that Eric was seeing then?" And I said, "Oh my God, it's ages ago." And I said, "Janet something," and that were it. She went, "Oh my God, it's got to be her then."
Yeah.
Simon said she was called Janet Edwards,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that were even more certain, you know, about
Come on, get
it
in
all.
video, you.
So
Yeah. It's an appearance in look.
it's just
I know.
She looks you to
absolutely
death.
incredible, isn't it?
But that's
Yeah.
Nicola was just fantastic.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
worked
She was,
so
wasn't she?
hard
Yeah.
Yeah.
at doing it all just right.
Yeah.
She was
Oh,
very
she's lovely.
really.
She's a good lass, isn't it?
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
she is.
She
She
takes
was
after her
really
When
mother.
she came to Jane's
Yeah.
that day, you know, and she went at pains, wasn't
Yeah.
she, to say,
Yeah.
you know, I haven't been behind
I
your
am
back or anything.
that's all she
And
kept saying.
And she says,
What if you think
every
that
email that you went out at
Yeah.
passed between yourselves,
Yeah.
it were all there, she
Yeah.
had written them all off.
Yeah,
in
she
a
did,
chart.
yeah.
And it's funny because I was thinking at the time all the same thoughts.
Yeah.
So we, both of us said to each other virtually at the same time in crossover emails, it'd be great to talk to you, but I don't think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's
Yeah.
just stick to email,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
when
Take it from
when
there.
me and Dad
Yeah.
get to speak to each other, after that we can talk.
Yes.
But she's so respectful
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so thoughtful.
She is.
She's great.
She's very. She is, isn't it? Because she is just like her mother.
Yeah,
isn't
she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a really good kid.
Yeah.
She's.
She's different when she's had a drink.
Oh, she's very, very different.
Listen,
Oh, fantastic, isn't it?
I'm your
Oh,
auntie.
wow.
Like literally just down the road.
Yeah.
She said, "Eric's going to be able to cross. I've met you first."
Yeah. So they live there, and then Jane
Well, back
lives
to
just
Manchester.
in the
You're
other
right.
cul-de-sac. Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
cycle.
it's crazy. And then when
I
it's
can't get
winter,
involved in
you
that.
hardly ever see each other because it's like dark when you're coming home, it's dark when we all go to work, so you don't really see that much of each other to say we all live.
well, we do. We do.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Very nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
would you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The first time we FaceTimed,
Yeah.
that was very emotional
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah, it was for me too.
Yeah.
It was for me too.
And I'm glad we've had the opportunity to do that a time or two before now,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
It's made this so much easier.
It has made it easier, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do think so.
But yeah, I mean, leading up to this, I think there's so many different emotions going on.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't know what to make of it. I was,
Yeah.
and people have been saying, "Oh, how do you feel about it?" And I've been like, "Do you know, I honestly don't know.
Oh.
It's so there's so much
Yeah.
going on. I can't put it into words or anything."
Well, you can't, can you? No. I've just gone with the flow, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
just
yeah.
accepted every time. It's,
Yeah.
What do you do? You know, I mean, how do you take these things? You know,
Yeah.
just accept each thing as it comes along. And,
So over the years, Eric, what were your thoughts about Simon? Have you always thought about him, or have you kind of just sort of had him in the back of your mind, or, you know?
it's always been in the back of my mind. I've always hoped this day would happen.
Yeah.
This time when it's at the forefront of your mind. when you're with family, when they're all with their children and stuff like that, you think missing out on this, you know. And here we are.
Yeah,
it's happening.
I know, and I think. Sorry, go on.
No.
I think when we first spoke, you couldn't get your head around the Simon bit, could you?
No,
because you've always known me as Mark.
That's right. I did call you Mark a few times.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
And I said that Mum and Dad gave me Mark as my middle name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah.
So I've always been John Simon Mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your thoughts when you think about Eric?
So, because I've never even known your name.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I knew you existed.
Yeah.
But I had nothing to, no context, no nothing. So for me, it's always been about Janet.
Yeah.
Because I knew her name.
Yes.
And the fact that we've met now is just amazing. And it's weird. I'm kind of glad it's worked out this way, to be honest. Yeah. Really glad. Because the other weird thing is that I've always said to David and to other people, I've never met anyone who looks like me. And the fact that we...
I don't think there's any doubt.
It's like, And even someone on Facebook today just going, oh, and is he Eric's? Oh no, don't worry, I've looked at his profile picture.
I did say that myself. It was amazing actually that when I saw you, like, you know, when Nicola brought the photo. Yeah. You know.
Having that's our Tony.
It really is amazing, isn't it? You know, how alike we look. Yeah.
Especially those photos of you when you were younger. I mean, you're spitting in the future. You are now anyway, but you know, in the photos of you a bit younger and Simon would have had competition if I'd known you when you were younger.
Oh dear.
But no, I'm pleased I'm going to keep my hair though. That's nice.
Well, yeah. Little slight satellite in the back, apparently. Yeah. You don't see that yourself, though, do you?
Exactly.
No. You've a good head of hair.
Yeah. a lot of work goes into that.
It does.
Yeah.
Keep what there is of it.
Well.
Yeah. So how was it to actually meet her? When you actually met, how was that? Was it exciting, scary?
Very exciting. Very exciting. In fact, it felt quite natural.
It did, didn't it?
When you came down the drive and that, like, you know. Again, I think it's because we FaceTime beforehand.
Yeah.
It took the edge off of things.
And just the first time we hugged, it was like, okay, this isn't weird at all. It's like,
I felt nothing weird.
Yeah, we've just been saying we love you as well. Me and you, we love you.
No,
kind of guy.
Honestly, I didn't feel.
Yeah. Felt really natural. Feels really natural.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those because I'm not on those lists.
I'm glad you feel like that as well. You know,
I totally do.
Because obviously,
it's just felt like it should be.
Up until like this point, you really don't know how it's going to go, do you?
Yeah.
You know, and I hope it continues.
Oh God,
I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
And I know we're thousands of miles away and that, like, you know, but it's the same with the family here and that. Like,
it's
you
just
can
a
pick
hop.
your phone up and chat, can't you?
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I know
definitely.
it's not the same as sitting here like this.
Oh yeah, but
you still have that contact.
Yeah.
It does make life a lot easier, does that? I must admit. One of the reasons, one of the things that made it so much easier for me when I finally settled in Spain was the fact that I just pick a phone up and talk to Brendan, FaceTime, Jane, Valerie, whoever. You know.
And same thing for us, like when we.
And I am a great believer of, fate, and things are meant to happen, and that's what's happened. So, like this is meant to happen.
And look how well they go.
Yeah.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
I knew they would. I just knew they would.
Yeah, definitely.
I just can't. I still can't. It takes my breath away looking at them.
Yeah. So when you look at Simon, is it like Eric? 20
The first time,
Yeah.
the first time they WhatsApped, and I saw Simon, my exact words were, "Oh my God," because it was like being with Eric all those years ago. Because obviously, when you're younger, even though I was with Eric till I was about 41, 42, in all those years you don't change, do you?
Yeah.
So although those photos I'm showing you were like in his 30s, he still looked like that at Simon's age. So it's only in recent years that he's changed. And I love the white hair. He doesn't love it, but I do. And it's easier to spot in a crowd.
I am.
Yeah.
Unless it's a crowd of tall people.
Well, we've been vertically challenged. It's not easy to see over
other people.
I can spot from miles away.
Yeah.
Marvellous. So I don't have to panic that I've lost him.
Same with us, like sisters. We over the years, it's been the same with us. I wonder where he is, you know, what he's doing. I wonder if we'll ever know him. If it's always been that if, and now it's real, and it's like, oh my God, it's amazing. And do you know what? The funniest, because we're such a massive family, and other people don't get when we've spoken about, right, Simon, you know, Eric's, they've found each other, it's all going to come into fruition, they're going to meet each other. Other people just can't get that, well, there's so many of you, what, you know, it's just another person. And we're going, no, it's a family person, it's a family member. But other people don't often understand all that. Yet to us, it's like, oh my God,
The thing is,
it's happening.
Some families, I mean, like Janet's family is a prime example.
Yeah.
You get much smaller families that are always falling out, don't value what they've got. These have loads of them, and each one matters to the other to the same degree.
Yeah. I just feel so, my heart just feels so full.
Like it could burst with happiness.
Honestly, it does. It really does. I know. It's brilliant.
I still can't look at them and think.
I know.
You know.
It's so,
I mean, I know a lot of sons look like the fathers, but wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
This is definitely not milk.
Absolutely not. No, unless Eric were ever a milkman.
They've done all sorts, but I don't think that was one of them.
Yeah.
His hands are the same shape as it.
Yeah, I know.
How funny. Yeah.
Same freckles on the hands.
Yeah. Same colouring.
Alan, the next oldest, right? Me, the next oldest. Right, the next oldest.
I get these specially imparted when guests come.
Dear.
Because I can't get them in Spain.
Right,
Oh,
Sally
okay.
Nolan,
And when they first used to bring them to me, they were £2.50. Then they were £3.50. Now they're £4.50.
Carol.
And you can only get them in
Jeff.
certain shops.
Is Carol?
Over here.
No,
Is
Jeff's
Carol-
older than
Jeff's older than
Jeff's
Carol.
older than Carol. Carol's same age as me.
Jeff's older than Carol.
So yeah,
You meet Jeff? Well, it's Jeff.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, okay. Right. They're not married, but they're...
There's a diamond there.
Yeah, you'll hear him before you see him.
Yeah, you will. He were out with me last night drinking.
Right, David.
Oh, when they...
I'm the eldest.
When they came to
As I
us.
say, Sally Nolan with him.
It's
Then Alan,
Yeah,
then
he
myself,
said to me,
I mean Adele, then Roy, that one.
Well, he said about Nicola, she's a handful
Andrew.
when she's drunk, so I don't know if she's
The jeans.
Silence!
Well, it's like them glasses, let's wash them up before.
And like
But do you know what we will do? We need to get and we will hire a church hall, and we'll have the party of all parties. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I just
yeah.
said, right, me and you, are we all in? Are we all in? I'm sorry, my bum's bigger than yours, but...
Hang on, I better put my arm around so.
In case she feels left out.
Oh, I just realised.
Wait a minute, Brenda, while I get my stomach in, if I can. If I can.
It's gone. Ready?
Yeah.
What about other way, Brenda?
Yeah, I thought
Sideways.
Yeah.
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 Oh.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ah, yeah.
That is a good one.
Is it? Cheers.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that.
Let me get this
Like-
one on this.
I look like the alcoholic.
Yeah, yours is
I had less.
I know, ironically, it's us, isn't it?
You can get over
Are
here.
you alright?
No, I've touched something that's made it go.
She brought it from.
I don't know what I did there, but why is it
Auntie
gone?
Brenda's
Shall I do
So
it?
don't touch that. Ah, so.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Got it?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Cheers.
easy. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Can I take one of mine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why we need
It's
to do
fine,
this
you're
because we can send not.
I know you can
We
send
could
them
actually
to each
send them
other.
to each other.
You can
€5 to
actually,
go.
but I just want one as well. Are you ready?
Yeah, stomach in, chest out.
Glass. Oh. Oh, yours is professional, it made a noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it, Simon. Keep that one though, Simon, because you can say this is my auntie who's.
Yeah, Brenda. What do you think?
Oh, that's really
It's
good.
really great.
It really has been a, how can I put it, I won't say fantastic, but it's been a fantastic thing that's happened, hasn't it, the way it's...
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You wouldn't expect it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Eric always wanted.
Yeah.
He always wanted to meet him, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, obviously it had to be Simon's decision,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just wonderful. Absolutely.
Yeah,
wonderful.
how it all happened.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It's brilliant the way it's worked out, isn't it?
Because what I'm saying is, to a certain extent, Simon didn't go looking, it just kind of happened with the DNA.
Yeah,
didn't it?
that's right, yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, that's the last thing I expected. We only did that DNA test
Yeah.
for, you know, to find out, you know, if I was... I kind of fancied being a bit Viking. So I thought, well, you know, I know. I know.
Royalty to
I
fuck
know.
on that one as
I
well.
know, yeah. Yeah, but it came back, the DNA test came back and it said 61% Scottish, 30% English, and then 10% other bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So kind of, well, Celtic it said. So
Right.
Irish, Scottish-y,
Yeah.
that side of things.
You don't know that.
And I thought, well, you know, red hair, that kind of makes sense then, doesn't it?
That's what made sense to me straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you see him at all? You know,
No.
after-
No, I wouldn't allowed to see him.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
not.
think the thing is, it's all with the mother, isn't it? It's all with the mother's parents.
Yes.
And you know, because as I say, we was it Mark Lee Edwards?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got all the details, but they just said you were, you know, training to be a jockey, and Simon's quite tall.
Yeah.
How's this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wondered that too. Because
You must have fed him well while you were looking after him.
Put him on a rack and stretched him.
Yeah.
As my aunt used to say, put horse muck in his boots.
Well, nearly all Eric's sisters and brothers are a similar size. Or Eric's the smallest of the boys, aren't you?
Yeah.
And only
There's only that.
only the youngest
That's
boy,
tall, really.
Jeff, is taller.
Jeff's a bit taller than us, isn't
Yeah,
he?
Jeff's
Well,
taller.
Yeah, it's a bit smaller than me, is Jeff, yeah.
It's when they had normally, you know, certainly our generation, my generation anyway. I mean, we were coming through the war.
Oh, yeah, that's
You know,
right, yeah.
and I mean, I think that had a lot to do with it. They're all a lot. I mean, there's some years ago, you'd say, "Oh, he's a 6-footer," and now they're all 6'5".
Oh, they are, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got nephews and nieces, well, sons of nephews and nieces that are all over 6 foot.
Yeah.
Several of them are over 6
Tony
foot.
won't.
Yeah, Tony's. Well,
Listening last night, Simon started showing me pictures on his phone. And I thought, what are you showing? You know, I said, I didn't know you had a moustache. You know, pictures of you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
No, seriously.
Very, very alike, aren't we?
Amazing, yeah.
And honestly, people on Facebook, when I put the picture on Facebook, it's gone crazy.
Oh, the
There's
response,
well over 150 people have kind of reacted and commented, and almost everyone's just saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe how alike you are."
Yeah,
you know,
we
how
didn't
similar
notice
looking you
till
are.
after we all looked at the photo. There's a photograph of them both sat on Brenda's sofa.
Yeah.
And without thinking, one sat like that, and the other one sat like that.
Yeah, and it's like a little mirror,
like
isn't it?
Yeah, it is,
yeah.
The hands are the same, everything
Yeah.
is the same. Teeth.
The
teeth.
teeth.
Exactly.
Teeth are
Really
amazing.
funny, isn't it?
But like the pic when I first saw Simon, it just took my breath away because it was like me being with Eric years ago.
Yeah, it's just uncanny.
And I brought some photos to show them, didn't I? I meant to bring them here and I've forgotten.
We did take photos of them and
Is that what
photo
you
of Hillary,
that's what I
Right,
was showing.
brilliant.
Last night.
Right.
And then, you know, the one of you in your suit. And smart suit with your tash.
Yeah.
And he's going, where did you go, Tash then?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not me.
You
that's
actually
Eric.
thought it was Simon.
What's he showing me pictures of himself for? I've seen him before.
You know, the circumstances, like it was the mother's parents that thought she was too young, the father that wanted to keep him. I think it's nice that you get the full picture.
Yeah.
So I hadn't actually really clocked that bit.
Oh, do you not?
I hadn't until they read them.
Right.
Yeah.
And he read it out to
I'm
me.
not sure Eric clocked it either.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it was me that clocked it. I'm not sure he did.
What was that
Mad,
then?
isn't it?
That the father wanted to keep it.
It
was a girl.
The girl family
That they put down.
But it was a different era in those days.
Yeah, I was just going to
disgrace.
say, in our day, now, if it happened now,
the
mother would just put her foot down and say no.
But it was a
Whereas-
disgrace.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
probably,
Absolutely.
probably locked her in a room till the baby was born.
Well, you know, you don't know, do you? It's frightening.
But we collected him from a place in Beverley, Neville Avenue, it was called.
Oh, so that's why you thought it was home.
Yeah, because the whole thing was centred around that. You know, and my kind of imagination. He was, the father was an inspector or quality control man or something.
Yes, yeah.
And so I got all this, you know, imagining in his factory and the whole area. And, and when we picked him up, he was in a little dress.
I've still got it upstairs.
Have you?
In a romper suit.
Little dress with a ship on it.
Suit, yeah.
And Hill said the first thing she noticed was that his fingernails
His fingernails were black.
Really?
How a 7-week-old baby can have black fingernails?
Not much changed, has it,
No,
Simon?
not really.
Been digging potatoes, I think.
And then apparently when we went to pick Susanna up, when she was adopted, Mum and Dad were saying, "Oh, we're going to go and meet your new sister, and are you excited?" and all the rest of it. And we walked in, and they introduced us. And apparently, I walked straight past her and went, "Oh, I see you have a piano."
So you got a piano. And all the time we were saying, "Oh, this is your new sister." And he's,
We still can't play the piano now. We've tried, haven't we?
Yeah.
But we picked Susanna up from Hull.
Yeah.
Trying to think of this jockey. There was a very well-known jockey. I think he's probably gone now, but you know, he'd raced for the people that owned Sunlight Soap. You know,
right.
And Ted, I'll think of it in a
Ted
minute.
Larkin.
Ted Larkin.
He was our stable jockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Small world.
He was
Gosh.
a real character.
Yeah. He liked to drink, didn't he?
You liked it. I've seen people. He was a very good ball player.
All right.
And I've seen people. Ted was staggering. You know.
Yeah.
And pay you for a fiver, Ted, and he'd do it, and he'd be going like this, you know, and he'd still win.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Still win?
He's the one that told me the Sherlock Holmes joke.
All right.
Said, Why did you give it up? It's not an easy job to get to read.
Yeah. I was never going to make it, you know. I got too heavy anyway, and that, like, you know.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Did you actually do any racing?
Yeah, only a few though.
Right.
Yeah.
There'll be about 1 in 100 that make it.
Oh yeah, it's like any sport, isn't it? Yeah.
And half the job's being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
as
that's
well,
true.
and knowing the right people and
Yeah.
getting the right horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's your photo.
Yeah.
You sent that, didn't
Yeah.
Oh, weren't you a little cute?
Yeah, come on.
Sweetness and light.
Butter wouldn't melt.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got lots of sort of photos around, so I was going to show you that one actually.
Nice cuppa, David.
It's quite strong, isn't it? But on a southern easy, I always make it too weak, so I ramped it up.
So that's Susanna.
Yeah.
This is Guy.
Quite strong, aren't they?
And that's my first day at Scouts.
Oh yeah.
Let me put my glasses
And I think that might be first day at secondary school.
Yeah.
on. Just like you there as well.
Yeah. And Dad looking all handsome and
Very smart.
70s.
Yeah.
I said to Simon last night, I thought of saying to him last week to bring the book I did when he was 40. Simon Chilton, This Is Your Life.
Yeah,
Starting off, and he
even
said,
think to do that.
"Oh, I wish you had done."
Did you put that first photograph in?
Lying on the bed.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's
I think it is,
Because
yeah, I think you did.
the kind of the girl or the family, you know, through the social worker, said we would like a photograph of him.
Yes, yeah.
So I took
we
this
read it,
one of him and passed it on to them.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure
That's
that's
good.
what the book starts off with.
Yeah. What month did you pick him up?
July.
Picked him up in
July
July.
22nd.
Yeah, and he was, so he was about, what, 6 months old then?
7 weeks.
Yeah, 10 weeks.
7 weeks.
But I say our DVD player doesn't work, so we never bother. But I say, if you could pick, a couple of those out and take them over, if you've got a DVD player. You could
Well, I've got them all on the computer. No, I've got them all on the computer, so I'll take that over.
You've got a DVD player, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. How are you going to bring that when you come to Spain? I'll probably bury my head in the sand.
That's alright, that's fine.
Oh,
where was that?
Won't go down here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I hope none of you mind being filmed.
So you'll have to do it.
Can you talk us through some of these photos?
So, who's this? Should we do it?
The sun's behind, so I can't get it.
Going to help him when he gets that afterwards.
The sun is behind. I need to get this side. Where's that go?
Well done.
It's the wind. Lifted and moved and
I fell off. I looked at Andrew, he fell off. It's a bit...
totally off in a dress.
I love that.
Soft lips. We're wearing stretchers. Really? Keep it off yourself. Pressure off.
Our Alan. Our Jack. Me and our Jack, please.
Come let me mum up motorbike.
Yeah. Jeff and Gordon Atkinson, your mother.
It's really evocative of the 70s, isn't it?
Yeah, that's our Nicola.
Oh really? That's Nicola?
That's Nicola. She was a little viewer, she had really blonde, curly hair.
But she was a tomboy.
No.
Really?
No, not when she was little, that's my dad. And me.
So this is Morris?
Yeah.
Somebody slipped up. I'm going to have to edit the video now.
I don't know what the bloody thinking of.
Yes, I've got it and all.
okay?
You get sound on it
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Do you know one of the really weird things is
So
that
the DNA company that you ordered it from have asked Simon and me to make a video.
We both had
and we're sending it to them, so that's why I'm
my
doing
family
this.
have black
right, super.
and
But we're going to credit out the blue language.
And Mum and Dad would go,
oh no, they won't worry about it. No, they're Arabians. They're Arabians.
It's really weird.
Yeah. So what's the name of the company?
I don't know what it's called. I know I have to send it off to America.
When he's got his
Yeah, the DNA thing goes to Texas, doesn't it? Because I did one first, and then we looked at my results, and I thought that it suits Simon, and it goes
So
the
what
right
did
thing.
Morris and Becky
So I
do?
bought one for Simon, and that's where it all started, really.
You do lovely with us, lot.
I mean, you're a doctor, aren't you? So
I didn't want to say it. I really don't want to say it.
I quite busy, all the family by the time I got it done anyway, so it didn't tell me anything new.
Back in
But
Simon, when we were kids,
connection, because you
worked in the mill, top buildings, worked in the mill.
They gave Simon was wrong anyway. They said he only, when I read that,
I know.
and his family, you know, they were all born.
We just really care.
It's a shame, but we still got there in the end.
Yeah.
So
Lee brought that. Yeah, Lee brought that.
You could be here till for a 1 mile, any road.
I don't know what I'm filming, so I'm not being very good professional today. I used to be